So about a month ago or so, maybe, I was pulling up to the gym. It was kind of late at night, and when I pulled up, I was just kind of listening to, 96.9, like K-Love, a Christian radio station, something like that. And I just felt this overwhelming, I don't want to say sadness, because that's not really what it was, but I just started like crying, and I really kind of broke down, and I really just kind of felt a conviction. And it's been kind of hard to talk about, because obviously it's not always easy to say that you're wrong for certain things, but there's been several situations that I have prayed and prayed and prayed, and God has come in those situations and has changed things drastically. Like, I could go on and on probably about all of the things that God has done in those situations and transforming them. But there was a conviction part of it that I felt God needed to put on me for where I was wrong. And a lot of the conviction of what I felt like where I was wrong was almost kind of the complaining. Like, I never look at it as like I mean ill intent or anything like that, but a lot of what I'm being called and asked to do and pushed to do is just a lot. I already feel like I kind of take on a lot as is, and part of my personality is just to be a giver. And so I could be down to my last ounce of energy. I could be down to my last penny. It doesn't matter. And if someone asks for it, I give it. Like, that's just my personality. And I really kind of felt that conviction of like, God is like, you've been trying to show your children contentment and telling your children about contentment. I'm coming in and I'm handling these situations for you, and I'm transforming these situations. And I definitely needed that conviction. I felt it, I needed it, and to receive it was kind of difficult. And since then, it's definitely been one of those things where I was like, God, I hear you. I receive it. I receive this conviction. You're right. I'm absolutely in the wrong. Like, I need to work on my outlook, my perception. I need to not spend so much time in the woe is me, maybe, that I didn't realize, I guess, I was dwelling in. And definitely need to practice what I preach. I'm telling my children to be content, and I'm trying to teach my children appreciation and contentment and seeing the blessings and things, and I wasn't handling situations the same way. And so there's been probably a multitude of opportunities since then where God has put it on me for me to have a decision. I can either live in that complaining conviction or what I'm being convicted for, or I can use that opportunity to glorify God and those kind of things. And I wish I could say that every time I succeeded. There have been times that I definitely kind of felt that selfishness come over, the need for complaining or venting. And I think a lot of it had to do with realizing that I thought I was just expressing how I felt, but what I was expressing was definitely very much complaining. And, there's probably a multitude of reasons why. I could say, I work from home, I'm stuck behind four walls, I don't get to talk to other adults throughout the course of a day as much as I'd like, whatever the excuse is, the point behind it was that I needed the conviction. This is the first time I genuinely felt a conviction from God. I felt shame, I felt upset, I felt regret, those kind of things. But I'm talking about a genuine, direct conviction from God. And all I'm asking for today, or the reason why I'm sharing it, is I'm just asking for prayers. If there's an opportunity that like you come up and you're like, hey, how are you, or blah blah blah, and you feel possibly that I am complaining, maybe, and living in that conviction part, maybe a gentle reminder, like, or maybe a simple like, hey Britt, what's God done for you today? I love that question, because then it definitely shifts my focus. Like, it takes a village, and again, sometimes I feel like I'm just venting, but it's not coming across that way. Maybe to you, maybe to other people, or even to God. Like, obviously it's not. So I'm definitely calling upon my village, for prayers, for encouragement. Maybe just drop a blessing in my comments. What has God done for you today? What awesome thing has God done? What situation has God transformed? And maybe instead of allowing the devil to kind of make my mind focus on the things that are not good, maybe I just surround and glorify God each day and focus on those blessings instead. So I hope, if you're dealing with the same thing, that you can obviously work to remain strong. Sometimes just knowing how you're being perceived, or what you think is one thing, obviously is not being that way, and the correction from God. God is a loving God. I know that He has forgiven me, He's put it on me, and He knows I'm working to change it. But yeah, I'd love to hear a comment of how God has blessed you today or transformed a situation in your life. God bless.